Hi, my name is Margaret Kelly, and I'd like to talk to you today about a book called The Birth House by Emmy McKay. I really like this book. It made me feel like I was friends with the women in the book, and it allowed me a real insight into the history of Nova Scotia in the early 20th century. It is the story of a girl named Dora Rare, who's the only girl in 5 generations of Rares, and so she becomes friends with Miss Babineau, who is the local faith healer and midwife, and she experiences with her all sorts of the trials and tribulations of women in the early 20th century: childbirth, sick children, domestic violence, all sorts of things like that. It is a little bit dark as a book, and you do have graphic scenes of sex and violence, as well as scenes of treatments for hysteria and other information. I also really like the way that she painted the settings. It gave you a real insight into what life for the world as a whole would have been like, rather than just the lives of these women. Throughout the book, you have clips like this one of ads and newspaper clippings, as well as notices, births and deaths, correspondence, and things like that, to give you more of an indication of how people would have interacted. Throughout the book, there are a group of women called the Occasional Knitters Society who get together in Scots Bay, Nova Scotia, which is just outside of Cape Split, to share their experience and to do their knitting and their mending, while they talk about what's going on in the local community and drink a lot of tea. The women really form a bond which allows them to get through a lot of the trials and tribulations that come to town with the local doctor, Dr. Gilbert, when he tries to convince the men of the society that a local painless childbirth through medicine would be better for their wives than the midwifery would be, because it has more prestige and other things like that. It really gives you an idea of some of the situations that face people when medicine first started to become a household's practice, rather than the practice, of course, of faith and midwifery. I really like the book, and I hope that you'll get a chance to read it.